The Taj Mahal. When people think about India, they think about the palaces, the tombs, and temples built many centuries ago, or the streets crowded with people, the sacred cow, the food, and the colorful saris worn by the Hindu women. But there are things in India that remain largely unknown to tourists, such as the work being done by AnimalAid Hospital. So come with us now to Udaipur, Rajasthan, in northwestern India. Let us introduce you to AnimalAid.
Minnie has an invention to show.
You're so cute!
Minnie had been hit by a car when she was about 6 months old. And you can see she has no tail, no back leg. And she did have all three of those things before they were amputated, but she had so much energy. She would just run through the hospital, totally oblivious to the fact that her back quarters were just dragging on the ground. And after some time just got really bad wounds though, that they just wouldn't heal because they're constantly wet on the ground and moisture. And this is, you know, those Elizabethan collars that they use.
Yeah.
So obviously it's not touching the ground now, and she is sometimes very naughty and attacks other dogs. And then she's disciplined. Disciplined. No, she's not disciplined at all. Mangi is proud of her underbite that is a birth defect, which she had no control of. And Mangi has a baby photo. This is Mangi's baby photo. So she came in just with mange, and she got really, really sick. And we had to keep her. Owned animals we have are injured or are in a suffering condition that we feel we just can't leave them with the owner that they have, or we have to treat their wounds or their illness, whatever. So we take them here and sometimes just keep them and don't return them, which is what a few of these donkeys that you probably may have seen being worked in the city with bricks and sand. So some of these donkeys have just become really wounded on their legs from being tied with plastic incorrectly, and they're just cut on their legs and then the tendons cut. So they can't work again from our point of view. And in some cases the owners were continuing to use them with just really heavy loads and really struggling to even walk. And then we've seen them and stopped them and told them that this just can't happen and taken them here. The donkey community who owns the donkeys and works them, they all know us because of a education program we run in which our doctor goes into their neighborhoods and gives free medicine and tells them not to use plastic. When we say we were taking this donkey, they understand. And a lot of times they come out here to see them and try to take them back sometimes, but it's not a hostile relationship because we've given them a lot of support also with free medicine. So they understand that we're caring for the animals and not trying to end their business. I mean, we don't like for any animal to be worked. If they are going to be worked, then just in the best conditions as possible. And so that's not our biggest program though. The biggest is with the street dogs, who are all, the ones who are tied out here are mostly injury cases. And a lot of those are from car accidents, fortunately, which I'm sure you can just imagine by the traffic and the speed and the amount of cars. We get about 5 to 10 calls every day, and we have 2 of these ambulances, and they go out in the city and then bring them back. To run the hospital is about $6,000 to $7,000 per month, and that's split pretty much equally between salary for the 18 staff members and then food for all the dogs and cows and donkeys, and then medicine costs. Dogs who've been hit by cars, we just do our best to try any recovery that's possible, and sometimes it isn't. Sometimes their back is broken and there's nothing that we can do but wait 6 or 7 days to see if there's any miraculous recovery, and then sometimes we do have to put them down. We don't put any animals down unless it's truly a euthanasia, meaning that they are totally suffering. We feel that if a hospital like this is putting healthy animals down, it just is no way to create a community feeling for animals when we're putting healthy ones down, and we can't settle with that as being okay. And we just have to try harder to find adoptive homes, which is really hard to do here because there's not a culture of bringing street dogs in the house. Though all of these dogs who are here, and there's more inside, all are being cared for in as much as they've been saved by those people. And most of them would have died if the person hadn't called us. The person calls us again and again, sometimes several times, to ask how they are and when they're coming back. So it's not as though they're completely neglected, and only sometimes do we have real clear-cut cruelty cases. We have about 10 or 15 dogs who stay here permanently, and we have another shelter where we keep just a few dogs and more donkeys, but most of them though do recover, and wounds recover really fast, and breaks also, bone breaks. And mange is another really common problem that we get, and that recovers after 4 or 5 weeks. Her second or third time here, and the last time she had the same wound on her nose, so it must be some fungal thing. She itches it herself. So to date, we've given about 12 to 13,000 rabies inoculations in Udaipur. We don't have the tools and instruments and knowledge that could save some animals, but for amputations and spaying and neuter and simple kinds of operations, which is normally all that we really need. And we have 3 doctors here as full-time staff and 2 veterinary nurses. And besides them, we have about 13 or so staff who are just general dog catchers and driver, cleaner, walker, feeder. That's the whole tour, and it's not very big, obviously, but we treat about 100 animals to 110 or so every day. And as I said before, we get 5 or 10 emergency calls every day. So it's really busy and a lot of animals coming and then being released and new ones come in every day. And it's all run by donation. So my parents, just as I'm running the hospital down here, they're at home sending out grant proposals and just asking people for money all day long. Just enables us to help more and have more facilities for them and treat more newcomers.